So we go back to the original Dragon Ball, like very, very early on, and it was just Goku and Bulma, and they're fighting basically various like random characters. They fought Oolong, they fought like random bandits that would appear out of nowhere, Yamcha, the Pilaf Gang. Then they started fighting the Red Ribbon Army goons. They started fighting in world tournaments, so there was like random participants there. Baba's tournament. King Piccolo showed up, and then he had the ability to basically create life. And then fast forward to Dragon Ball Z, right? Very first saga, Saiyan Saga. There's Raditz, there's Nappa, there's all these Cybermen. Then in the Frieza Saga, there was the Frieza Force. In the Android Saga, obviously there was the androids. There was also First Form Cell and Semi-Perfect Cell. Stay with me here because there is a point to me listing all this. In the Buu Saga, there was Babdi's henchmen, there was Yami, I think his name was, and Spopovich, Dabura, all those goofy guys. And there was the different Buu variants. And I'm not gonna say that they were all utilized in the way that I think they should have been utilized and the way that a lot of people wanted them to be, but there was always somebody weaker than the main villain, but strong enough to where if a character beat them, they would get some kind of recognition for it. And I think that's been lacking or not used as well the farther we've gone into Dragon Ball. You could even go back to GT and say that this was mishandled, like certain arcs like the Shadow Dragon arc. It was basically just, I don't want to say the Goku show, because a lot of Super was just the Goku and Vegeta show, but I feel like they definitely could have helped out some of the weaker characters, like Pan and Trunks especially. Gave Pan Super Saiyan, gave Trunks maybe like Super Saiyan 2, maybe even 3, because Goku had 4 at that point. Or maybe Goten or somebody, by having them defeat like some of the weaker Shadow Dragons, but it was really just Goku and Pan just traveling around beating all these guys until we started to get to the stronger ones. It's a huge aspect that was missing from Dragon Ball Super as well. In the first saga of Dragon Ball Super, it was just Beerus. Like, that's it. There's nobody else to fight. Like, they're not gonna be fighting Whis. Whis wasn't gonna create constructs for them to fight. Well, I mean, I guess he could have, and it probably would have been in character if he just wanted to see how strong everyone was, but it didn't really happen, and I don't think it needed to because it was a movie at first, and I think the movie went pretty well. Like, we probably didn't even need this series, although it did add a few things that were beneficial. Either way, next arc, Resurrection F. And there was the Frieza Force again, but it's like most of the guys there either weren't used in the way they should have been used, or they were just complete garbage. It was all of the guys that like got one-shotted by Tien's Tri-Beam. Nobody knows those guys. Nobody remembers their name. Maybe they'll be in a game one day, like that one Frieza Frieza soldier in Tenkaichi 3 and Sparking Zero, but like, I don't know, like nobody really cares about those guys. They were unnamed, like, just jobber bot characters. There were probably only like 2 henchmen Frieza had that were actually notable. There was that one Red Bull guy. I do not remember his name, but he was strong enough to give Piccolo problems. But then he was one-shot by Gohan, which I think I talked about in the previous video about why I didn't like that. There was, oh my god, I'm forgetting his name too. I think it was Tagoma or something. Let me see. Yeah, I was right. Okay, Tagoma, this guy. Sorbet as well, but like Sorbet wasn't really fighting like that. I'm pretty sure he just got one-shotted too, right? Like, he shot Goku, so I guess now we have to know him. But like, that again, that was, I don't think that was a good decision either. And yeah, he was one-shot by Vegeta, and he got hit in the balls by Gotenks. Universe 6 Warriors, that was actually good. That was actually good, because to a degree it was good. It could have been done better, but like, we actually know those guys. They're still in the story. We saw them get in the Tournament of Power. So like, there is actually some kind of strength scaling with those guys. Then Goku Black arc, literally nothing. It was Goku Black and it was Zamasu, and it's like, it didn't really matter. There were only like 3 fighters that mattered there. Tournament of Power fighters, and again, yeah, like this was Tournament of Power was probably the most popular arc for a reason, because we actually got to see like guys that we don't get to see do stuff, actually do stuff. And basically my point in listing all these guys is, you can't just have an S tier villain that's like just on a completely different level of strength from everybody else, and then have like just like peons that are basically just ants there to be stepped on before you get there. It doesn't really prove anything, especially to characters that aren't like the protagonist. Like, you go back to some of them early arcs, and I said that not all these guys are utilized in the way that they should have been, and I kind of mean that. Like, I think even King Piccolo, he should have had more henchmen or other characters to fight. But I feel like it kind of worked for what it was back then, so I can't be too mad about that. In Z though, I think this was probably done a lot. I don't want to say better than original Dragon Ball. I think it's at least on par because there were definitely moments where it felt like everybody got to do stuff. But there were other moments where it felt like, yeah, these guys are like, I mean, I guess it depends. Like, I think Z did it better than Kai, if that makes sense. Like, with all the filler stuff, it was probably a lot better. So yeah, manga readers and like, if you only care about canon, then yeah, I think it's understandable for you to disagree there.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door. This is my neighborhood.
Yeah, the Z Fighters, they kind of got destroyed by Nappa, but there was some kind of escalation to that. Like the Cybermen, they were just enough Cybermen to be considered dangerous. And I mean, Yamcha had to take one for the team, unfortunately. But like, you can kind of see like you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Like they were dangerous enough for it to be impressive that Krillin one-shotted all of them, but people are still going to clown Yamcha to this day because he lost to one. I feel like in context, it's not nearly as bad as, let's say, losing to a random Frieza soldier. Even though the Frieza soldiers are stronger, relative to that arc, the Cybermen were somewhat of a threat. Basically, to get you to understand the mindset I have right now, it's like a video game. There's all of these like basic like normal enemies that you don't really think about, and there's a few that are annoying that maybe they have some like cheap freaking move, and every now and then you get one that's like slightly stronger that you actually struggle with, and you're like, who the heck is that guy? And it's kind of like when you see like a random Batman goon and he actually managed to like block a couple punches and then like maybe land one of Batman. It's like, wow, that guy was actually pretty good. Or like that one guy who was swinging that wind style sword in Madara and actually put him on the defensive for a second. Like he got destroyed, but in the grand scheme of things, he actually had to have been pretty good. Like he had to have been at least like a Chunin, maybe he was like a Jonin or something, because there's no way anybody else would have been able to do that.
Nothing to worry about, just using the scope. Safety is on.
Look at the system of that, right? Those guys are notable because they're fighting against Batman and because they're fighting against Madara, who are like way stronger than anybody else like in that verse, in Gotham or in any of the lands in Naruto. Like they're way stronger than everybody else there. So it was notable for any other character to do anything to them. And that's kind of what these minion characters have to be. And that's why it's important to have like named minions, because if you beat a character that didn't have a name, that just kind of showed up one day, it's like, okay, but like who was that guy? Like if you don't scale them to a character that we know to be strong, like Goku or Batman or whoever in that verse, then they were just some guy. That's kind of what happened with Piccolo, I think, when he was fighting that one bull dude. I was thinking at first that guy must be pretty strong because he was able to fight Piccolo. Like he was obviously stronger than all of those other goons. Gohan shows up and one-shots him and I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, unfortunately, I guess Piccolo's not as strong as I wanted him to be. And yeah, that happens a lot. And it would happen a lot less if there was a clear escalation of villains. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Hunter x Hunter arc. No spoilers, obviously. But like the Chimera Ant arc, there was different generations of ants. And I know I said ants to like be stepped on at the beginning. This is kind of weird, but either way. Basically, they were the first generation ants. And they were just like, you know, they were like nameless warriors that they had to fight. And they just looked like ants. And then as the arc went on, like there were just stronger and stronger variants. They were like the lieutenants, there were the royal guards and everything, and like you didn't have to think about too much who was stronger than who. Like it was kind of obvious, maybe not 1-to-1, but it was like you could tell what tier everybody was on, and there was no like debate on, oh, maybe this guy's a higher tier than we actually. Like no, it was pretty obvious like where a lot of people were. I think we kind of need that for Dragon Ball. Like it just would have been a lot more interesting if the Frieza soldiers actually had like a couple of strong guys. Like if there were like somebody for Piccolo to fight, somebody for Tien to fight, maybe a couple guys for like Krillin. I was gonna say Yamcha. Was he even there? I don't think he was there, was he? That's crazy. Either way, you get what I mean, right? It's like you need to have some kind of you need to have like a mini boss, like a mid-level boss, to show that like if they're only fighting nameless goons like the putties from Power Rangers, then they basically are nameless goons themselves. To anybody just walking into the show at that point, all they just see all these guys get one shot, all these guys get destroyed. It's like, okay, I guess this is like, I don't want to say Dynasty Warriors, but like they don't know all the things these characters have been through. They don't know Piccolo and Krillin that had to like hold it down against Nappa before Goku showed up. Tien stopping Semi-Perfect Cell. Tien again stopping an attack from freaking Super Buu. I'm never gonna stop bringing that up because I'm not gonna say it didn't make any sense, but it was impressive. That's all I'm gonna say. It was very impressive by Tien, and I kind of just wish he did more. And yeah, I think we need more like named lesser characters for all the other characters to fight against.
Hey, Bat Dad. I didn't hear no bell.
The better arcs for the side characters were probably the Universe 6 arc and the Tournament of Powers arc. It showcases the benefits of the tournament arc that honestly started in Dragon Ball, and then other series were like, yeah, no, that's pretty good, let's do that. It's because you can't have like just the strongest guys doing stuff, because then like, all right, what are all these other matches for? You need to have like even the weaker characters do something. And later on, they kind of messed that up a little bit. Like Chaozu, I get nobody really cares about Chaozu these days, but like back then, Chaozu got like one-shotted off screen by Cyborg Tao back in the day, so then he wasn't able to do anything in that tournament. I want to say that happened to Krillin, but no. Surprisingly, it didn't happen to Krillin, which kind of, I mean, it kind of adds to my point. Like, Krillin even got to fight against Piccolo, not King Piccolo, like actual Piccolo in that tournament, and he did better than like anybody thought he was going to do. Even though he lost, like it showcased something, and I think a lot of people liked Krillin because of that fight. Yeah, without those moments of here's a stronger guy and here's a side character that's going to like hold him back, like Semi-Perfect Cell against Piccolo. Even when Krillin cut off Frieza's tail, I feel like it was something, you know? It was pretty good, like, but you can't just have that. Like, if you have too many of those moments, all of a sudden this villain is like, all right, is this guy even like that good? Like, if he's getting pressed by like Yamcha and Krillin, then there's no way. Like, Goku should show up and just like two-shot this guy. That's what I was talking about before. When we're talking about the forms of these different villains, I specifically said Babdi's henchmen and the Buu variants. You know, I said the androids and first and second form Cell, because they were characters that actually got to showcase moments against these early forms. That's one of the strengths in Dragon Ball villains that people don't talk about. The earlier forms let you see characters that aren't as strong as the villain at their potential actually do something. Piccolo, for example, he got to beat up second form Cell for a bit. He wasn't as strong as third form Cell, but he did distract him for a while. So like that is a feat of his. Like, he's very durable. He was very fast. He was outspeeding second form Cell. I mean, the second form Frieza. He was the first one to meet Cell, and he was kind of like he was kind of styling on Cell with that one Piccolo kick they keep talking about, where he basically just blitzes all around him, does like a 720 degree flip, and then kicks Cell in the back. And it's like people remember those moments, and they're like, yeah, this is why Piccolo's my favorite character. Not mine, but like you know what I'm talking about. That's what these early villain forms can showcase. Even second form Cell, like Tien had his moment against him, Trunks had his moment against him, Vegeta had his moment against him. First form Cell, again, it showed how powerful 16 was. These characters keep getting built up off each other. Like, we know how strong Goku was, but then he was nerfed by the heart virus. Because he was nerfed by the heart virus, well, Yamcha got owed. Like, let's be real. I don't know why. I don't know why they hate Yamcha so much, but like, yeah. And this wasn't even the Toei writers. This was Toriyama. So yeah, let's not talk about Yamcha right now. But yeah, Goku, he was nerfed by the heart virus. He loses to Android 19. Android 19 gets destroyed by Vegeta. Vegeta gets to show that he was Super Saiyan the first time. For the first time, rather. And then he also intimidates Dr. Gero, and then Piccolo's like hyping him up. He's like, oh, Vegeta is a combat genius or something. He bragged so then to cause him to retreat, and like, you know, the whole thing. After this, Vegeta gets beat by Android 18, and they said Android 18 specifically was weaker than Android 17, and then Android 16 is a mystery because he wasn't even in the future. So now we have two characters of unknown strength and a character that just beat Vegeta, after we showed that Vegeta was basically the strongest one there. Then off of that, we have Piccolo coming back, beating Cell, and we don't know how stronger he's gonna get based on how many people he absorbed. Then Piccolo goes blow for blow against Android 17. Cell shows up, he's even stronger than both of them, breaks Piccolo's jaw, tanks the light grenade, which should have been used more, I'm gonna be real. Android 16 comes in. 16 is even stronger than first form Cell. Cell absorbs 17, he's even stronger than 16. We could do this all day basically, where it just shows the escalation of how much stronger these guys are. I don't know, like, you can argue that there was some merit to this in the Goku Black arc, but the issue is, like, who did Goku Black really fight? He fought against Trunks, Goku, Vegeta, and like that's it. Like, there wasn't enough people fighting against him. Like, you don't have to do this for every arc. Like, we don't need like Krillin in every arc, for example. We don't need Yamcha in every arc. But it was in a series where the lesser characters were already kind of like thrown to the wayside a lot. It would have been nice for them to have some more moments. And like, this is why I said the Universe 6 Warriors was done well, but not well enough. Or maybe I didn't say that, maybe I thought that, but either way, it's because we saw a bunch of guys that clearly were not on the level of Goku, clearly were not on the level of Vegeta. It was basically like a 1 or 2 step solution in friggin' algebra, and as soon as they solved that, they won. Why not save Goku and Vegeta for, like, in this style of tournament, Goku went first, and it's like a Pokemon style tournament, so you send in one guy, when that guy gets knocked out, you send in the next guy, when that guy gets knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, why not send in Piccolo first? You know, like, why not send in Boo first, have them get a couple of wins, and then Vegeta shows up, and then Goku shows up. And there was even a moment where, like, Piccolo could have fought again because they proved that Frost was cheating in his match, but then Vegeta just says, yeah, no, let me fight this guy. And then Piccolo, for whatever reason, just lets him, I guess. Like, I don't know, I guess the writers paid him off or something. They gave him like a 50k bonus to not step in. But either way, it's like, it would have been cool. Like, maybe have Piccolo show up again and then actually like defeat Frost. Have Piccolo fight against Magetta or whatever his name was. Have Piccolo fight against the freaking Winnie the Pooh looking dude. Even if it wasn't Piccolo, it could have been like Goten or Trunks or Yamcha or Boo, anybody else really. Because like, having Goku or Vegeta beat these guys is basically just having like Batman beat up on all these goons, and like maybe one of these guys showcases something and it's like, all right, that guy's pretty good, but it's like, it doesn't really add anything to Batman or Madara to beat up these ninjas that we'll never see again. But like, Tamari landing a hit on Madara, that actually, like, that means something. People are like, okay, wow, she actually did something there. Like, that one hit made her more useful than like half of the Konoha 13, because all right, where have they been for the past like 3 or 4 arcs? And yeah, I kind of ranted, I kind of was all over the place. Hopefully I can fix it a bit in the editing, but appreciate anybody that made it this far into the video. Would appreciate if you left a like, consider subscribing, and until next time, peace.